So I'm walking on eggshells with this one. If you're a fan of Kyrie Irving, my intention is not to upset you, but it is more so to have a conversation about how good the guy really is. Is he a superstar, or is he just excelling in the perfect situation for himself, playing behind LeBron James? Well, Kyrie, his offensive talent cannot be questioned. He's one of the best scorers in the NBA, and the point totals that he has put up since pretty much entering the NBA have been great. There are random games you can find with him putting up 40, 50 plus points. I remember the game against the San Antonio Spurs in the regular season where he hit like 9 3-pointers. Kyrie's a damn good player, but is he really just the perfect guy to play next to a LeBron James? Because we would all agree LeBron is the top dude on Cleveland. He's the guy who leads the offense with his playmaking and his all-around play, really, as a rebounder and as a defender when he wants to be one. You know, where does Kyrie really rank? And we'll look at his performances with LeBron James, because those should never be ignored, of course, but we're also going to look at how Kyrie has performed without LeBron, and, you know, hopefully we learn something in the end, or whatever, I don't know. But let's be really nice to Kyrie first. And let's look at just all the nuances of his game. As a three-point shooter, Kyrie may not be Steph Curry, but he does have that sort of ability to knock down a three-pointer with a dude in his face, but he can also play off-ball. So he gives his team a whole hell of a lot of versatility because he can play off-ball for a guy like a LeBron James, or if Kevin Love is in a post-up or something like that. But he can also hit you with a quick crossover move or whatever, get you leaning back just a little bit, and then he'll embarrass you with a three-pointer right in your face. He's also one of the best guards in the NBA when it comes to finishing around the rim. He shoots like 59% at the basket, which is way higher than a point guard should ever be finishing. His ability to hit shots off of either foot and at weird angles and throw it at the top of the backboard. He's super crafty when it comes to floaters, and similar to his ability to finish around the rim, he just needs a little bit of space and he can hit some crazy shot. He is deceptively one of the best mid-range shooters in the NBA, so if you back up off of him in the pick and roll because you don't want him to go all the way to the rim, he'll just pull up on you with no hesitation, and if he gets to around 15 feet, he can just do a step back and it's going to go in. And he is potentially the best ball handler in the NBA today. When he really wants to, and he starts hitting guys with crossovers, between the leg moves, spin moves, might be the toughest guy to stay in front of in the entire league, just because his quickness on top of the way that ball moves, man. I feel bad for a lot of guys when they're playing defense on him. And when we look at his performance in the NBA Finals this previous season against the Golden State Warriors, he was ridiculous. Of course, he hit perhaps the biggest shot of the series, as well as one of the biggest shots in NBA history, with like a minute left to go in Game 7 with the three-pointer over Steph Curry. But he put up some huge point totals in the Cavaliers' simple style offense, and if it was not for him, as great as LeBron James' performance was, they probably don't win that series if Kyrie Irving doesn't go off the way he does. So his clutch performance was insane. But I think this is when I can start getting a little more mean about the guy. Well, hopefully not too disrespectful. In that series, LeBron James, on top of just being a fantastic scorer, he averaged 9 assists a game. And the definition of a superstar would be someone who can lead an offense, and in some cases a defense, in multiple ways besides just being a big-time scorer. Kyrie Irving averaged 4 assists in that series. And if we look at Kyrie's assists overall for his career, he's averaging like right around 6, and he's gotten criticisms in the past of over-dribbling, being a ball hog at times, especially before LeBron James was actually there. And even when LeBron was there, in the first season and a little bit in the second season as well, LeBron had some moments where he had to tell Kyrie straight up, dude, you need to pass the ball more. Which I think we would all agree is just simply not ideal. And if you look at some of the other superstars in the league, Russell Westbrook, we're not going to ask anything of him when it comes to his assists or his rebounds because he's already averaging a triple-double while putting up 30 points a game. So his all-around performance is there. James Harden might be the best passer in the NBA this season. If you saw the way that he sliced up the San Antonio Spurs last night, 14 assists and averaging 11 for the season? Do we ever expect Kyrie Irving to do that? Kawhi Leonard, the best defensive player in the NBA, or at least the best perimeter defender in the NBA, on top of being a fantastic scorer. Steph Curry also gets hit with the not an all-around player tag a lot. I mean, he's beating Kyrie in terms of playmaking as well as rebounding for his career. Kevin Durant has grown to being a very good defender, a damn good rebounder, and getting about 5 assists a game, on top of being an elite scorer. And I think when we compare some of those guys to Kyrie, his defense is nothing to marvel at. I would say he is one of the problems and why the Cavaliers have been one of the weakest defensive teams in the NBA this season. And while I don't think he's just god-awful, he definitely leaves a lot to be desired there. And if you're just not that strong of an all-around player, are you really a superstar? Or are you just in the perfect spot because LeBron James is on your team, and as a result, you can be a bit more comfortable in, just scoring a whole lot of points and being an okay creator? Another thing we can look at is Kyrie's performance when LeBron James is not playing. Since LeBron rejoined the Cavs, there have been 16 games in which LeBron is not playing, Kyrie is playing, and the game actually matters, so it's not like at the end of the season and everybody's resting. In those 16 games, Cavaliers' record is 3-13. That's not very good. You would imagine that in a game like that, Kyrie's responsibility would increase. He has the ball in his hands a little bit more. And when you are the top dude for your team, your playmaking needs to be a little sharper, because if you're just going to be a guy looking for his shot all the time, then you're going to be way easier to game plan against. And perhaps in those type of games, some of his old criticisms creep back in, over-dribbling sometimes, not looking to his teammates enough. Of course, 16 games is way different than a full season, but it's not a good sign regardless. But I still don't think we should kill the dude for just 16 games. It's a pretty small sample size. When the top dude is out, you are asked to do a little bit more, sure, but if LeBron wasn't on the Cavs right now, we don't know, maybe Kyrie would really step his game up and lead them to, 45 plus wins or so. But luckily for Kyrie and Cavalier fans, LeBron James is on the team. He's the top dude in the NBA, and his all-around game is ridiculous as a scorer, playmaker, rebounder, defender when he gives a crap. And as a result of that, I think it puts Kyrie Irving in just the most comfortable position ever, where he can play off of LeBron James and he can have playmaking duties at times, but when it's a big game, big moment, all that stuff, he's not asked to be the main guy, and it's just perfect for him. It also allows him to really focus on his offense, and he has had some incredible clutch performances, the finals against the Golden State Warriors, of course. But the all-around game, it's not the best. And I will say that if you give me a choice for every point guard in the NBA to start my team with, there are definitely a few guys that I'm taking over Kyrie, but his offensive performance is still ridiculous, and he's a damn good player regardless.